Bonjour. Welcome to our International Women's Day event, Women and Water. It's going to be a panel discussion. Indigenous cause, Adriana Indigenous cause, Dojaba Chimnasting. So my name is Adriana Belinsky. I am from Chimnasting, our Christian Island, Bosley First Nation. And I am going to be your host for today. And we're going to meet three other lovely women. I just want to start by saying thank you for choosing to support Water First, whether as a donor, participant, champion, or community partner. The work that we do would not be possible without you.
I'm Laura Mallinson. I'm from Nipissing First Nation, and I am a water treatment operator on Reserve in Garden Village.
Wonderful. Anything else that you wanted to add about yourself?
So I'm actually a Water First graduate. I graduated in 2022, and I started working here.
Very good. Okay, I'm sure that we'll get to learn a bit more about that experience in the coming moments. Thank you, Laura. McKaylee, can you take some time to introduce yourself to us?
Hi, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much for having me. My name is McKaylee Javon. I'm from Temiskaming, Quebec. I'm a certified environmental technician, and I first worked with Water First on a fish habitat collaboration between my band, which is Quebec First Nation, and with Water First. And the project was really successful. We were able to restore walleye spawning habitat in the Kipwa Lake watershed.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, McKaylee. Thank you for joining us. Jean Marie, I see that you're here. Can you take a moment to introduce yourself to everyone?
So my name is Jean Marie Colburn, maiden name Buzwa. I'm from Whitefish River First Nation, Birch Island. I'm a retired teacher with 25 plus years experience teaching up the James Bay coast and on Hudson Bay coast and around Georgian Bay. Right now I supply teach at Shaw Nowasaway School. I supply teach and I'm enjoying it immensely. I got involved with Water First through John, who came up to Fort Albany many years ago, and long story short, he just asked me if I'd like to be on the advisory board.
What led you into working in the water science field in general?
Okay, so I actually was looking to go back to school, and I was looking on like my Reserve's Facebook website for the deadline to apply, and I was thinking of going into kind of environmental lab technology. But then I saw that they had this Water First kind of like internship application that they were accepting. And I kind of was really unsure about it. I didn't really know what it was about or what it kind of entailed. And I ended up kind of getting more information about it and applying. And then I ended up getting to work in the water treatment plant on my reserve as an intern and kind of getting hours that way. Got to kind of collect a lot of certificates along the way, like my operator in training. And then, yeah, so that's kind of how I ended up doing the Water First internship program.
That's a really cool story in that, you weren't necessarily eager, confident in applying, but you still did. And it brought you so many things. So it's really cool. I think I had a similar experience when I came to work with Water First. I am a certified teacher working at the school board and started looking for something else. And when I left the school board to work at Water First, it was a very scary thing. Stepping into the unknown, people thought, you're crazy, you're leaving a stable job at this institution. And the work at Water First has been so fulfilling for me. So I hope that you had a similar experience with our internship. McKaylee, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the water science field?
Growing up, I never really had an idea of what kind of career I wanted to go into. So I wasn't quick to go straight to college. Out of high school, I got a job cleaning at our local pulp and paper mill in my hometown. So I stayed there for about 2 years. And during that time, I spent most of my free time developing a strong connection and love for nature, just being outside in the bush, hiking and fishing and doing all of those things really made me love being outside. So when I found the environmental technician program they had at Canadore College, it just seemed like it was the perfect fit for me. So I really enjoyed that program, and that's what led me to this field.
That's beautiful. I love how, each of our stories are all so different, and nobody has a single goal that they're aiming for. We're all on a journey, and we get there in such unique ways. And it's really cool that it's like water, flowing where it needs to go. Laura, can you tell us about your experience as a woman working in drinking water, as an operator?
Okay, so when I started as an intern at the water treatment plant in Garden Village, there is one other female water operator here that kind of taught me a lot, which was really great. But actually, when our water treatment plant is currently undergoing upgrades. So they couldn't guarantee me a position right after the internship ended. So I actually went and worked for the construction company that was doing the water treatment plant upgrades, just to kind of fill the gap for a little bit. So I actually got to be part of them kind of starting to build a water treatment plant, which was really interesting. But being kind of in the construction industry as a female was, I don't think I saw another girl female in the trades at all. So I think it was a completely different experience for everyone involved in that, because the way I kind of saw things was not only from an operator stance doing kind of construction things, but also as a female in a construction kind of site, that I had very different views and ideas on things.
Yeah, so good for you for stepping into those environments that are so male dominated. Very strong, very, very cool that you're so intimately familiar with your plant, that you are kind of a part of the construction of the updates, and now you're actually operating too. That's really cool to be kind of holistically involved in everything from your workplace. That's really awesome. Thank you for sharing. McKaylee, can you tell us about your experience as a woman working in the environmental technician field?
Yes, I can. Okay. So my experience working in this field as a woman has been really amazing. There's only one thing that I think is worth mentioning, just in case there are other young girls that might find themselves in a similar situation that I was in. So it's a little bit of a story. Straight out of college, I had somebody tell me that maybe I made a mistake in choosing the environmental field, and that maybe I should be looking at other career options. So being like a young girl fresh out of college, just excited to start and ready to jump into it and like find my first job, it definitely made me doubt myself for a little while. And so over the next few years, I was able to just build my confidence in my work and work on like really amazing projects and studies and just do all these amazing things and basically just persevere when you're met with people that might doubt you. Like you just still keep doing what you love. So on the other side of that, it was sorry, I've made like so many meaningful connections with so many people. I've been met with so much guidance and mentorship, not only from like the other women that I've worked with, but from a lot of men as well. Like I've had a really good experience. And where I'm from and who I've had the chance to work with, this field is filled with so many strong and incredible and intelligent women. And I'm just really proud to say that. So genuinely enjoyed my experience so far.
Michaela, can you tell us a little bit about what motivates you in your life, in your field of work?
First, I'll say what makes me most proud of being in this field of work is when you're able to make a difference for the environment, no matter how small it is, whether it's like restoring a small habitat for a certain species or it's just protecting the land in general. That's been the most meaningful to me. Right now, I am currently on a career pause and I get to be home full time to raise my son and just focus on being a mother. But my experience that I've had in the environmental field, the passion is definitely still there. So I've been following the story of what's happening in Chalk River and how the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission has approved the construction of a nuclear waste disposal site at the Canadian Nuclear Laboratory, which is on the Ottawa River. And so something as big and potentially catastrophic as that is for sure a huge motivator on why I chose this line of work. The Ottawa River is so important. It is a part of our history. It is a part of our culture as First Nation people. And this nuclear waste site is imposing such a huge risk on like not only the surrounding animals, the aquatic life and the vegetative life, but everybody who gets their drinking water from the Ottawa River. So something like that is definitely very motivating to be an environmental technician.
Thank you, Michaela, for sharing that. It's jarring to know that stuff like that is still happening today. I know that we have a couple of case studies of pollution entering into our water systems that we use in our lessons with school kids, but to know that, these lessons haven't been learned yet and that it's still happening is really concerning. So thank you for being a part of that field and letting us know and raising awareness of that.
Yeah.
And we do in the schools, we try to bring that knowledge and awareness to the youth that these are ongoing issues and the earth that we have is the only earth that we have and we need to protect her and keep her safe. Jean Marie, do you have any thoughts on what investing in women is or accelerating progress?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Okay.
You're back.
I heard you.
Yep.
I guess being a grandmother and I have granddaughter, I would like to teach them like it's important to be a model. Yeah. And to be an example. Like don't be afraid to get your feet wet or your hands muddy. And I think a lot of girls are like they're put in that box where you have to wear like the pink dress and the bows, right? And not wear black rubber boots. And you know, those are changes that, girls will follow if they're not shown a different way. Like I forgot her name before us that spoke.
Michaela.
Michaela, yeah, sorry. Anyways, yeah, I agree with both what the ladies were saying earlier. Like, yeah, I am being a role model and just showing them the other job possibilities, like engineers. The people, they, people in computers, like that's a whole different science there. Yeah,
Right.
but I'm like, I wasn't a strong science person either. It was like my high school days was like you're going to home ec and you're going to learn how to sew and cook instead of going into some kind of trade or learning about other things, right? The times. The times are changing.
The times are changing, and it's so important to keep doors open and open more doors for all of our youth to go through. Now we are coming close to our hour mark, and we promised everyone we would be an hour. So I'm going to ask one final question to all of our panelists. We're going to think back to that poll at the beginning with our word cloud that all of our audience kind of created for us. I'm going to ask you to try and answer this in one sentence. One word even if you can. So the first question we asked our audience was, what does safe water mean to you? So for me, safe water is life, because not only do I need it to be alive, but it is literally my job. Like my income, it keeps me sustained in all other areas of life as well. Safe water is so important. Laura, if you could maybe start. Safe water mean to you?
I think safe water to me is like is kind of having safe and healthy water that's accessible as well. I think that kind of accessibility is a huge portion of it. We are in Canada and we do have like a lot of freshwater sources, but it was kind of scary that a lot of First Nations couldn't use or access clean drinking water.
Yep, and that's why Water First exists, right? Yeah. Michaela, what does safe water mean to you?
Safe water to me means that it's our responsibility to keep it sustainable and healthy for the future generations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. And Jean Marie, what does safe water mean to you?
I think it means being able to drink from the tap freely and not wonder if it's safe.
Yes.
And
thank you.
Water.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, I have tap water here. Do you see traditional knowledge and Western science being combined into effective monitoring programs, and how? So maybe Michaela, if you don't mind getting us started with that one.
I would say definitely where I'm from, it has been involved in just reaching out to community members and let's say if we're gonna do like a restoration of a shoreline, if we know that there are traditional plants, species that are there, then we have that knowledge to be able to protect them better. I'd say it's definitely involved.
What do you see as the biggest barriers to improving capacity building within your communities, particularly for women? The biggest barriers to improving capacity building within your community. Michaela?
I need a second.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Laura, did you want to jump in while Michaela's thinking about that?
I think that for me, one of the biggest barrier is that, well, I wouldn't even call it a barrier. I find her a gift. She's like my daughter. But you kind of require this flexibility when you have a family. And that's sometimes so hard to find in employment. And sometimes you'll have to take time off, or, you're going to need more flexibility when it comes to dealing with family emergencies or other things like that. And I think that it can be hard sometimes when there's an emergency at work and I have to address that. I'm so lucky that I have this amazing support system at home that's able to kind of step in sometimes when I need them, so that I'm able to kind of do what I need to do at work. But to me, like, it definitely having the flexibility for your kind of home and family balance was kind of a challenge, especially when I was doing construction and they didn't really understand as much. But now that kind of I'm at the water treatment plant, it's a lot easier, especially because we do have a lot of water operators, whereas some communities maybe only have one.
Well,
Michaela or Jean, did you want to tackle that question?
I would just,
yeah,
Sorry,
flexibility was a good one.
Okay. Michaela, Jean's deferring to you.
basically, like, it's not so much a barrier, but because our community is really good for like sending the young people to school, getting them educated, and then having like jobs for them in their field. But maybe in this field, just encouraging more people to go into like the environmental sciences.
Right. So really just awareness first and then opportunities second. Jean, did you have something to add? Sorry, I think I cut you off.
No, I was just agreeing with what a barrier for women is, like having a family and being flexible if you're needed outside of your job place. Because the woman is the person that everyone goes to, and when there's a crisis, even if it is a water crisis. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Flexibility was my thing, and just commitment. Sometimes we don't have the commitment, like long term. That could be a barrier because it's physical.
Yeah.
And family.
It's a very real barrier that we face, and it's good to talk about it because then we can come up with creative solutions, right? And make sure that the capacity is not leaving the community just because we're prioritizing our families.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Jean Marie, I'm so glad that we were able to connect and hear from you. Thank you, Laura and Michaela, for opening up a window into your life and sharing kind of your experience working with the water in your communities. The conversation has been thought-provoking, informative. We know that there's, issues still today, right? Well, again, thank you so much, Mitch, for your time, for attending and sharing your thoughts. Happy
International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.